Hello guys, welcome back to Super Guy Boy Show, and I'm doing another Jojo topical video on once again my favorite underrated arcs of the series. Now, as the title suggests, I'm going over my favorite arcs that I don't think gets talked about enough in the fandom, and I just want to shine some light to them. And once again, as I said in the last video, put down what y'all think are some underappreciated arcs in your opinion that you also love a lot, because as much as we love talking about the arcs that we already know are great, it is good to at least give some shine to the arcs that I don't think get appreciated enough, despite having some great writings to them that I think are worth discussing about. So yeah, let's go over, another one of my favorite underrated arcs. The first one we're going to talk about is High Voltage. High Voltage, for being the last major battle of Steel Ball Run, I think it is a bit sad that people don't talk about it enough. And I think most of that does come into place because the way it is structured might seem a little bit off and very fan servicey, I guess you could say, since it appears after the major battle that is D4C, Ball Breaker, and the emotional chapters that are Break My Heart, Break Your Heart, which is my favorite arc of the entire franchise. That might seem a little bit off that out of nowhere at the last 5 chapters, Araki just brings back Diego with the world, and it might seem like a bit of Araki trying to do some fan service, but I think if we're looking past all of those flaws, it is a really good arc in and of itself. There's a lot of great moments. I think what makes it really well done is thematically, I think the tension is very high on this one. If we're looking at it thematically in the entirety of the franchise, Dio has always been the main villain of JoJo's, just in general. Almost everything in every part always comes back to Dio in some sort of way. So I think it is actually really cool that the last battle of Steel Ball Run is Diego. And another thing is that, Diego and Johnny's feud throughout the entire part is like really well done. They're always trying to, outguess themselves. They're always trying to use their wits to smart each other. And I think it is actually sad that the original Diego never actually had that moment where him and Johnny actually got to duke it out with their stands, but which actually it makes it a little bit more appreciative for me that now Diego actually does have that chance, but with another alternative version with the world, which I think adds a lot more towards it. And another thing is that the fight itself is really well done, easily up there with some of the best written fights in Steel Ball Run. I think what I like about it is that it kind of breaks down the whole momentum that Tusk Act 4 has. I think with a lot of people, when they discuss about stand battles, it's always like, oh, well, this ability can cross through dimensions, so it's impossible for it to lose against the world, which is why I always love Araki, because he always finds a way to like twist those abilities together when they actually do battle it. And I like how it's not really about strength over strength, it's more of like outplaying the other in some smart way. And I love the way it is done, and a lot of the tension throughout the battle is just really well done. I just really love this one. It's a really good one. It is structured a bit weird in the entirety of the part, but if I look past that, it is not too bad of an arc. It's a really good arc, and I highly recommend it. If you didn't really think too much of it, I would suggest you come back to it, because High Voltage, I think it's the really good outro to Steel Ball Run. The second one we're going to go over is Born This Way. I've been doing this thing recently where I've started to just reread JoJolion to catch up with my plays last time where I read it, and after rereading Born This Way, I think I fell in love with the arc way more than the first time I did. I still thought it was my favorite out of the first 30 or so chapters I read, but now I think I appreciate it a lot more. First off, the pursuing aspect is always a favorite with me and Araki's type of writing. The idea of like a stand just following you and you trying to find your way just to escape it, I think is always cool when Araki does it. I love the high-staking action that goes on with there, with Josuke always trying to find a way to get away from it, and with Paisley Park's help with the GPS, I thought was really cool. Also, the interactions with Holly, Joestar, and Yasuo has always been a little highlight for me of the arc itself. I love the little funny aspects of Holly Joestar, like, hey, I recognize you before. You're in this book I've been reading. And then she just shows this picture of what she thought Yasuo was, and it turns out to just be a porno magazine. Like, how did Holly Joestar get that? I love how it sets up like little aspects of there in the arc. And also, I really love the stand. The stand just looks really cool, and mixed in with that, like an ice ability, I think when Ice gets involved with any stand, the coloring of the manga just gets way more, badass for me. Like, it gets really cool for me. And of course, the art style, as always, looks really good. I love looking at the backgrounds and the Morio neighborhood that really goes on. It gives it like a very peaceful characteristic to it that I really like. And as well, I love the final part of the battle, with realizing that the stand user are born this way was actually Kei Nijimura, which is really cool. I really love that ending. And overall, it's just a really good arc. And of course, I'm gonna try to catch up with JoJolion because I have always seen little comments here and there like, hey, how come you don't mention JoJolion? How come you don't mention JoJolion? And I don't mean that as like, oh, I didn't find anything that great. It's just because I haven't caught up to it. So far, I decided, as I'm reading it, I will give y'all little updates of like favorite arcs here and there. And so far, from what I'm rereading back, Born This Way has grown on me a lot more. It's a really good arc, a really good one at that. And that will be the entire video for today, and hopefully y'all enjoyed it. If there's any video ideas with anything related to JoJo's y'all want me to cover on, put it down in the comments below because I would like to hear it, do some ideas, and yeah, hopefully you had a great day, hopefully you had a great viewing experience, and yeah, see ya!